Good morning. My name is Tissa Wijeratne, neurologist from Melbourne. Today, Brain Health for All segment, we are going to talk about mini stroke or transient ischemic attack. Now, you are very familiar with pageants. In particular, in Sri Lankan pageants, you have those men coming up with whips before the real pageant begins. So the TIA is like them. Mini stroke or TIA can be a warning sign of a bigger stroke within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So what TIA does is it gives you an opportunity to fix that so that you can prevent ending up with a big stroke. What are the symptoms of TIA, you might wonder? Well, symptoms of TIA or mini stroke are basically the same as symptoms of stroke. You might suddenly lose blood supply to one eye. If that happens, you might experience suddenly the vision going off in one eye rather than both eyes, as if a curtain drawn in front of your eye. That's an indication, even though this may last for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's an indication that you have a problem of blood supply to that part of the brain. Another symptom would be losing speech, inability to say the words that you wanted to say. That might last only few minutes, sometimes up to about 10-15 minutes, sometimes with tingling or numbness or weakness on one side of the body at the same time. The difference between stroke and mini stroke or stroke and TIA is stroke leave you with permanent deficits. If you lost vision due to stroke, that would stay with you until you go to the hospital and for weeks to months, sometimes even longer than that. If you develop tingling, numbness or weakness on one side of the body, that would last for a long period of time. Whereas mini stroke or TIA symptoms last a shorter period of time. When I teach medical students and young doctors, I normally tell them that stroke, when you see patients, you see the problems that they have. Whereas TIA or mini stroke, you don't see the problem, you hear about them. But when you hear about them, you take them very seriously and do the necessary investigations reasonably urgently. Now at home, if you develop stroke symptoms or mini stroke symptoms, you only do one thing. In Australia, you ring 000 and ask them to take you to the hospital. You let doctors decide whether it is a mini stroke or a major stroke, as the urgent treatment are needed, whether you have a TIA or main stroke. We'll talk more about the investigations of mini stroke during the next episode. But remember, mini stroke is a warning sign of a bigger stroke, and it gives you an opportunity to fix the underlying risk factors so that you can avoid having a stroke. Stroke is contributing to almost 40% of disability caused by all brain disorders. Therefore, preventing strokes is the highest priority for all of us when we work towards quality neurology and better brain health for all. So send your questions in. We'll talk more about how to investigate mini stroke during the next episode. Take care, stay well and stay safe.